and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we're continuing on from the masking videos I did from yesterday on this XS Jag. So I think we'll just do a base coat video for this one here. Make sure I got those gun settings right. Yep, full fluid, half a turn in on the fan, and 25 PSI for our Basecoat. And yeah, let's get straight into it. No mucking around, mate. It's all been prep sold. Obviously prep work's been done. Obviously masking and all that. I've tack ragged it all down, and we're ready to base coat her up. I mixed up 2 litres of colour for it at the moment, but I might need more. I'm not 100% sure. I could only fit 2 litres into that pot, so I thought, well, I'll just start with 2 litres and take it from there. So it'll be interesting to see how far we get. But originally I would have mixed more up, like probably a bit, like maybe 2.5 litres, but as I say, I can't fit any more than that in my pot. Anyway, I've sort of made a plan of attack for where I'm going to start and finish. I thought I'd start at one guard, move over, and then I'll do a bit of side to side action, just to sort of chase that wet edge. I decided not to use any wet on wet primer on this job. I don't think it's going to need it. Coverage is pretty good already, as you can see. I mean, we're effectively already covered after this one coat. The second 2 coats are basically just going to be for effect and a little bit more coverage, just to be sure, obviously. Alright, so now I'll go back over this side, just so it doesn't go and dry on me. Usually I do try to avoid going from side to side, but on such a small car like this, it's really not that big of a deal. In a perfect world, like, one of the panels would be off, and that's what usually happens, so you can sort of start and stop. So let's just say that this door was off the car, you could just start at that guard and just work your whole way around until the quarter panel, and you'd be chasing that wet edge. But obviously when everything's on the car, it does change a little bit. Very good coverage on this one because it's a very fine metallic. So most of this colour is medium metallic, and then the other sort of, I don't know, it's like 50% of the colour is medium metallic, about 25% of it is fine metallic, and the rest is just like a drop of black, a drop of white, a little bit of the effect additive, and then the reducer. But I say that because the finer the metallics, the better they cover. So medium and fine metallic silvers generally cover really well. It's the coarse metallics that generally don't cover very well, and I think that's because they have to put more binder in with the colour to sort of float that metallic. I like to do the bonnet first, so that when we do the roof, you see there's that little bit of overspray landing on there, but it's got that little wet, it's got that sort of a wet surface to land in, rather than going on the dry, freshly tack rag bonnet and then sort of turning into dust. So it can stop that sand piling. Anyway, back over to this saw. I pretty much used that first full litre. I reckon I'll go through this whole first full litre just on this first coat. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it in my marketing videos, like usually we would take door handles and mirrors off, but it must be a budget job. I usually stay out of all of that. I don't even ask questions that I don't need to know the answers of. He just said paint it, and we're not taking anything off. I said, okay. We'll see how this video goes on YouTube, but sometimes I've actually noticed, like, the videos where you don't take all the parts off tend to get more views, and I don't know if it's partly because, like, people watching from home seem to be like, hey, I can do that, and if the professionals are gonna do that, well then, me too, you know, let's just watch that. Rather than having everything taken off, it can maybe seem a little bit hard. Yeah, because I don't know, maybe everybody at home can't be bothered taking all the parts off their car, or they might not have the skill set to be able to do it. But anyway, I might just flick that cam off for when we're doing the bumper, and for this video we'll just focus on the body of the car, and I'll see you guys when I've dried that Basecoat down. Rightio, continuing on, as you can see there, we've dried it down, I've dried it down, and going to drop that pressure by 5 psi, turn the fluid in by half a turn, and keep rocking and rolling, baby. So yeah, I find I hold that gun back a little bit on the second coat. I mentioned it in another video recently, but it's sort of where the fan hits full, that's where you want it to hit the panel. That's where you want the paint to hit the panel, when the fan hits full. It's actually looking like I might have enough. I actually think I will have enough paint. So the 2 litres is looking to be enough paint for the job, which is good. And the Basecoat seems to be laying down nicely. I haven't found any deeper sanding scratches that I missed or anything like that, which is another good thing. Especially on the silvers, like if you miss like a little 180 grit block mark on a black, you can clear over it. I mean, it will shrink back eventually, but you can sort of sand it out, buff it out. Whereas with a silver or the light metallic, what you see is what you get when you clear it, you know, you're not going to be hiding anything. Alright, same thing as last time, we'll just go side to side. I'm going to need to change over that pot soon. Yeah, like this car here, when it came in, it was extremely badly faded paint. So the body itself actually wasn't in that bad condition. Like that bumper did not even have one stone chip, believe it or not. Yeah, for all I know, someone just bought this on the auctions, and I honestly don't know. Like, as I told you before, I don't go and ask too many questions, but for all I know, someone got this for a steal at the auction, and they just want it to look nice again, and they don't care if it's perfect, and for all I know, they're just doing it up to sell it. And as I say, I don't get too involved in all that kind of stuff. But yeah, usually we would never mark all this kind of stuff up, but as I say, mate, that's what my boss told me to do, so that's what I'm doing. I don't know, it kind of feels cool, because it's different. Like, I was looking at it before when I was blow drying it, And I'm like, hey, this kind of feels cool. I really just very rarely do this kind of thing. Same thing, I'm going to turn that cam off when I'm doing the bumper, and I'll see you back here for the last coat. Alright, time for our third and final coat. It's looking pretty good, it's drying down nicely. I see no edge mapping, I see no bad prep work, no deep scratches. That should be dry by the time we get there. Shouldn't take too long. I did find one chunk of dirt in the bonnet, but I tack ragged that out to the best of my abilities. So what are we going to do? Sorry. Yeah, down to 15 psi and a full turn in. Yeah, one full turn in on the floor there. So it's quite restrictive that. It's going to be going a bit slower. We're recording. Yep, we're recording. Just making sure. Because of the lower pressure, it makes the fan smaller, like what I was saying before. So you have to sort of hold the gun back a fair bit to compensate for that, so that you're still hitting the panel at full fan, like I said before. And any muscle should just disappear after spraying this coat. But if it doesn't, if for whatever reason you're not happy with it after this third coat, leave the settings the same and just put another coat on. So you don't do another 5 psi and another half a turn after this, because you would be running at 10 psi, which is way too low. Fingers crossed we get a clean job, but it's looking like it's going to be. It really is. You know, you just, after you've been doing this stuff for long enough, you can sort of just get a feeling for what a job's going to come up like, and I get a feeling this one's going to come up nice and clean. That's kind of like one of my mates said. He goes, man, even those guys that, like over in there in the States, who do like those you know, $100,000 to $200,000 spray sprays with all the crazy custom candy and flake jobs and all the stuff and that. He said, man, when they clear their jobs, they get nibs in it too. Like, they just buff it out. Like, nobody's perfect. I guess that's what he's trying to say, you know. Even the best of the best. I might even just upload that footage of the camera in the corner onto the broad channel as well. Why not? You guys just seem to like anything I put up here. But yeah, like, just so you can get a different viewpoint, I guess. I might upload that footage as well. So now I've got the two GoPros, the two good GoPros. So the one that's on my head is the GoPro 10, which is killer. I reckon it's really good. And the one in the corner there is the GoPro 8. I got a really good deal on the GoPro 10 recently. I bought it like actually through GoPro themselves, through their own website. was like 600 bucks, and I got all these accessories as well. It was like, yeah, 670 or something like that. Yeah, like JV Hi-Fi, they wanted like 700 bucks just for the GoPro by itself. So that's why I say I highly recommend going through the GoPro website if you're in the market for a new GoPro. And this new GoPro, man, it's killer. It's really good. Hey, it's looking like I'm just going to have enough color here too. How's that looking? Looking good, looking good. It will dry down better too. Like sometimes it looks a little bit mottly, and yeah, when it's wet, but then when it's dry it'll look better. But all the edges on this bumper is done. I'm just mainly focusing on the faces this time. As I said, I was very pleasantly surprised at the condition of this bumper, man. It feels like it took like 10 or 15 minutes to prep up, because there was no stone chips on it, there was no damage in it. Quick orbital sander, scuff over the edges, and then you're done. That was very good. And I just had enough with that 2 litres, so there you go. Well, I guess that's it for a video there, guys. I'll see you in the Clearcoat one. I'll give you a quick flyby. I'll wait until it dries down and I'll give you a look over the Basecoat when it's dry. So as I said, this is just a quick look over it. It's dried down. I've got the clear in the gun, and that's looking ripper, looking really nice and even, especially considering it's such large flat surfaces. There's no mottling in it. I'm really happy with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to go and check out the link in the description. Go buy yourself some merch if you like. Otherwise, just keep watching. I don't care. So yeah, there we are, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Get out there and paint some shit. Woo!